approaches and has a hit. Jack McGlynn! That is an absolute banger to draw this game level.
What is up? We are here. We got MLS, baby. Short slate, but amidst all the international action, we actually have something to break down, and Challengers Open. Look at this. Daniel Brubaker, let's go. First up on the podium there, Red or Dead. What's happening? Ronan, let's go. Bulat, let's go. Thanks all for coming in. Feels good, right? Feels really good. Got a nice looking slate. A little bit of a challenger opening up as I get everything rolling here. And it looks like there's an edge to be had for sure. Does the mic sound weird? Hello, hello, hello. Let me know if that's any better or worse. Maybe the sound's coming out of the wrong thing. Let me know. Let me know if it sounds still weird. It might just be my voice, bad on like a little bit of sinus issue. But if it's like crackly, let me know. I'll mess with it a little bit. Assume we're rolling with this one, right? None of your stacks are playing, so box of scraps. Hey, that box of scraps might get your rewards. It just might. Jimmy in cat mode. Yeah, no cat mode, but there's prizes to be won. Sounds okay? Okay. It might just be my voice, how I started talking. Could have very well been that. Yeah, so let's see. All right, let's take a look. We have, let's discover news so we can see them all. You can hear it seems like the headphones mic rather than the other one. These headphones don't even have a mic, so maybe it's my camera mic. Let me see. Give me one sec. Yeah, that's definitely it. How's that sound? Let me know if that's a little bit better. Yeah, it was coming out of my my mic, so, or not my mic, my webcam. I don't know how that got changed, but hopefully it's better. Yeah, okay, that makes sense since it's like literally across the box here. So thanks for the shout out there. Help me out. Hooper, what's happening? Thanks for coming in. First time catching it stream live. Let's go. Whitecaps, Steve Clark, and Evidence, rare team with Bono, and a random team rewards. Ivicic, Andrade, Hartle, Jesus Ferreira, and Roldan. Let's play for boxes. Wow. That's a great mix of guys. Let's go. Crispy. Love it. So crisp. Thanks for the heads up. Feeling great about this week. I got Rossi, Rusnak, Carlos Hill, Hollingshead, and Maurice. Nice. It's solid. Just open that. Challenger in season Clark, Mikael, Herrera, Russell, Artur. Yeah, it's a great team for sure. I like it. I like that Clark, Mikael, little back, little combo there. I did write about both of them, or at least had them both in my RotoWire article. Definitely like both of those guys against LAFC. Who's missing a lot of guys, but their midfield should be pretty solid. So, absolute random team. Let's go. Do you think Frey will be back a week after this? So we did get a little bit of Frey news. I forget who posted it, but let's see. Schmetzer made a comment that our boy Neil, if you don't follow him, he posts a lot of news. But the quote is, Schmetzer officially rolled him out for Saturday's game, but also expressed some optimism that Frey could be back as soon as next week. So that's not terrible news, honestly, on the Frey situation. So hopefully that's legit. And
Yeah, maybe next weekend. Yippee-ki-yay, let's go. Welcome in. If you're new, whatever questions you have for MLS will bounce around, all that good stuff. And there's no real major thing. Yeah, they have a great fixture next week, so hopefully he's back for that. They might take it easy with him, but it's good to see he was jogging today, which is good. Yeah, we got International Night special. I haven't looked really into that. I don't really have a lot of international players, so maybe you are the opposite and you have a bunch of internationals. I just don't. Not in my gallery. And then we got Challenger, which is big. So I just wanted to take a look. Challenger, some decent prize pools for limited, and I was a couple of times here. It's okay. Rare. Yeah, sorry. Yep. Yeah, I didn't mean you. I just meant in general. I know you've been here. Then we got a little bit of rare action. So we're actually going to pop right over here just to see the limited, where the rewards are. If you have a D1 lineup, and this is kind of it was La Liga the other few times. If you have an in-season D1, that's where the most likely rewards are going to come from. You want to be in D1. That's where the money is. That's the best chance of reward. As of right now, 37%. I just refreshed this right before we get on. This is So Rare Probabilities, a great tool here. So in the Fighting Ben Olsen we trust. Absolutely great coach. So again, in season limited, D1 and D2 is good. And then under 23, I always do talk about under 23. If you have a goalkeeper, yeah, it's pretty simple because a lot of people are running out 4-man lineups. And then international, you have some weird stuff. You get a lot of DNPs. So that under 23, I guess D4 is solid, but, not as good. But the same thing, same time. Fighting special, 15,000 lineups at the limited, 5%. But up top, if you win one of these, there's some nice rewards for sure. And then International Nights, same kind of deal, but there's cash in that one. So 4.42%, but a lot of cash available up for grabs. Yeah, Ravens. If anyone else is watching the NFL opener, Ravens Chiefs tonight. I mean, even in limited, 200 lineups, 70-ish reward. Yeah, for sure. I'm just running podium in D2 without goalie. Without a goalie, that's crazy. I'm going to drop only if Garnacho comes on. Well, let's hope he doesn't. Let's go. And then rare, which is kind of what I focus on. You're looking pretty much at the same thing. The only difference is under 23 D1 is where a good amount of lineups will be available. So like I have a Chris Brady, but I'm going to play him with, I actually made some pickups for an in-season. I'm going to play him in in-season, 38% right now, 65 lineups to 25 rewards. And I really think I have a really good chance. I'll show you guys who I picked up. My theory might not be right, but I'm going to roll with it. I pick up some in-season guys. I know there's only, 9 or so games left, but some of the matchups they have down the stretch, I think I can get a solid chunk back. I know I may have overpaid a little bit as well, but my kind of theory is this standalone, like I have a decent chance to win based on the lineup, but other things happen. Not a lot of people kind of getting after it, and we're at least getting boxes, which is always a positive. Both my challenger teams are D1, so it looks like the best. Yeah. I have 2 D1 in seasons, but I can only play one lineup because Philadelphia's not playing, and I don't have anyone else. I think the MLS should have its own comp. What percent you have on your V-run? Yeah, PSV has been tough, but that's been past years too. So yeah, sure, that would be great to have our own MLS, but I just don't think they'll do it. It'll be a special weekly like they did at the beginning of the season, but we haven't seen anything since there. I think it's fine. It's hard for MLS to compete, especially on like the goalkeeper defender side of it, just because there's not as many clean sheets. There's more parity in the league where PSV is just stomping everyone, but that just comes with it. It's every year you have some teams, and you can either go out and get your PSV stacks and hope you have a better percent and just ride that train, or you can play a little differential play, maybe play 4 PSV guys with Ricky Pooch, or something like that. But yeah, PSV's winning everything right now, but they're not going to do that every single game week. It might seem like they will. Someone else will pop off. But yeah, there's a lot of good challenger teams. As far as this game week, though, let's just bump right into what everyone's looking at. Challenger, we have an all MLS slate. This feels great. While the prize pools aren't as big, I think it was $700 for first. I believe $700 in first and D1 rare. But I mean, that'd be great. That'd be phenomenal. So if you take a look here, we are going to sort this by, instead of clean sheet, we're going to go to win percentage. Yeah, it does seem they do slow down, or they have those just absolute smash matchups where they're like 90% to win, and that just doesn't happen in the MLS. Like biggest favorite is a 61% favorite. The New York Red Bulls against Sporting Kansas City. So New York Red Bulls haven't won in forever, so that kind of puts in perspective. It seems like they haven't. I think they have like one win in their last like 10 matches in all competitions or something like that. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. Differential with Veerman, Buscagli, with 2 Columbus, Puig. Yeah, that's phenomenal. That's a great little differential because you have the Veerman who's hitting his hundreds, Buscagli who's been hitting his hundreds or close to it. I haven't looked exact, but then you have, Diego Rossi, Cucho, who's been smashing, Ricky Puig, all those guys. That's great. That's a great group. If you didn't read the RotoWire article that I posted, I just kind of talked about who I liked. It's a weird game week. Ryan Mira is going to be the starter for the New York Red Bulls. Could he keep a clean sheet? Is the best odds, but the best odds is 38%. So it's hard to say. I really think Sporting Kansas City is going to score a goal. Can New York score 2? I don't know. I could see that being a 1-1 draw, or maybe it gets a little goal heavy, but just New York Red Bulls don't really do a lot that, especially with Forsberg. Forsberg did so much, and he's out again. John Tolkien has not been scoring well. Usually it goes hand in hand, but yeah. Oh, no way. Garnacho in, Enzo smash. I dropped a 5th. First guy in D2. Rares without a goalie. That's wild. That is wild. Thomas is your dark horse, not liking how weak the Crew are. Yeah. I just saw what the Crew did with their backups against Philly, and they ended up still winning. And that was on the road. So, yeah, I think Andy Thomas is a shout for Seattle. They're going to have a lot to play for, obviously. Columbus missing some key guys. They still have Rossi, but they are missing, several guys there. With them being the second biggest favorite at 53%, and then the Whitecaps, who are missing their kind of best players. I forget who it was on Twitter commented. I think it was Just Heat and So Rude. Both were like, yeah, we don't agree with some of the market. And I'm kind of the same way. I don't know if anyone's into, betting markets, but these implied odds are from sports books, and I don't really agree. I just don't agree with some of them. I think Vancouver's going to struggle with Dallas. Dallas has not been good, but I still think Vancouver's going to struggle a little bit. They don't have a majority of their guys. So you don't have Ryan Gauld. You don't have Brian White, Andres Kubas. A lot of guys are missing. New England fighting back against St. Louis at home. Houston playing LAFC, who's missing a ton of guys. Belonga, key guys, Bogusz. The heart and soul of this team, a lot of these guys are missing. But, Tillman's back. They have good pieces. It's just Houston's coming off a 2-0 win at LAFC with everybody. Not that, you can look at that result, but kind of crazy. Vancouver's toast. Yeah, I'm probably going to be on FC Dallas to win, and they will definitely let me down like they always do. After this weekend, do we have some more MLS next weekend? Yeah, I believe. I haven't looked ahead, to be honest with you, but we can look. Next weekend, let's see. Let's look at the games. 509, I guess, whatever you want to call it. Oh, 5:10. I guess it would be Saturday. So the slate for next weekend, I think we have a full arrangement, 14 game slate. Yeah, 14 game slate. So we got a full one there. Atlanta, Nashville, Cincy, Columbus, hell is real. DC, New York City, Inter Miami, Philadelphia. Messi's eyeing that one as a return. We'll see if that happens. Montreal, Charlotte, Orlando, New England, Toronto, Austin, Chicago, New York Red Bulls, Houston, RSL, Beavers, baby. It's Beavers time. They finally went with it. Love to hear it. And St. Louis, Minnesota, Colorado, Portland, LA, El Trafico, Galaxy versus LAFC, and Vancouver, San Jose. So interesting there. Yeah, that'd be interesting. A little bit of content there. Yeah, I'll definitely use something like that, Bean. Good idea. Thank you. On who I think will make the playoffs. So get a little bit extra utility, maybe good or bad. Yeah, there is always next week. So it is kind of nice that they're still playing through the international break, but you're losing guys and it makes it a little bit tricky, to say the least, especially, some of these guys that are starting that are kind of funny. But yeah, like Sporting Kansas City, I know they haven't been tremendous. They have some injury issues of themselves, but 20% just seems really low. But yeah, I'm going to pick up a rare Beavers for the rest of MLS. Yeah, it's his spot to lose, apparently. So yeah, I'm glad it's not like, man, is McMath going to start? Is he going to start? It's just kind of back and forth. Vander Brazil call up when? Yeah, Vander, so much talent. Yeah, he's a long way away. That's great. But like even Chicago's the fourth biggest favorite. How can you ever trust it? And it's a coin flip. It's 50-50. Well, it's not 50-50, but it's 50% chance. Plus 100 on the odds, American odds, 2.00 on decimal odds on that. It's just hard to get behind that, even though it's DC. DC hasn't been great, but they still can pack a punch. But I am going to be playing Brady, hoping somehow they keep a clean sheet. They only have 3 all season. So hopefully it's a 4th. Poor you have a sounder stack. At least you have somebody playing, right? Like majority of cards, only 12 teams playing. So yeah. And Ben Tecker's going to be that guy. Yeah. You just can't bet against him. That's for sure. I would be kind of, as a guy that's playing Brady, I wouldn't be shocked if Benteke has one of those crazy games where he just goes off. Winning goals and having a nice like 20 AA and 2 decisives, 2 goals wouldn't surprise me. And the kind of crazy games DC's been playing lately, that could be at Toronto 3-1, Dallas at home 4-3. The last 2 since break, there's just been goals galore. 2-1 loss, 3-1 win, 3-3 draw against Atlanta, 3-2, 5-0 against Orlando. Like, there's been goals one way or another everywhere there. And DC's missing a ton of guys, which is crazy. That's crazy. 14-15 season. Didn't even think about Guzan and knew, but I forgot about Hill being on there and Benteke. Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy like when everything comes full circle throughout this. All right. So where do we go from here? If there's any like lineup questions, you can hit me up with those. Let's take a look. Where do we want to go here? I go to my players. What are we doing here? No players available. Reset this. It's usually a me thing. I always hit something off, and so we might have to come back to that. Or reboot it. Import the players again. I'll talk through some strategy. Again, this probably not the smartest, but I thought it was taking advantage. Oh, Westwood too. He's managed by Dean Smith. That's crazy. Yeah, Westwood too. I bought some in-season studs, not only for this game week. I know their prices are a little bit inflated, but they weren't too much over. And I know in-season is coming down to the end, but I feel like I can get a decent amount back. So I don't know. I got a Carlos Hill, got a Diego Rossi. So I'm going to roll those two out. In terms of percent, I don't have a lot of nailed on players in my gallery. Laborda, he's 90%. He's good. Just split up between midfield and center back. It just kind of depends. Is Halbuini, however you say it, if he's going to be in the back line or not. Veselinovic is 90%. He should be fine. Berhalter, I would think he should be fine. And then Johnson's coming back from injury, but he's fine as far as injury. Caicedo is available, but I don't think he'll start out of the gate. But yeah, 60% on Johnson's tough. I can give one away, right? We'll do Vancouver. We'll do one on each one. So I'll do Vancouver on this one, then we'll do a different team. Krylik has one leg. Yeah, in season worth more worth for the Smashers because next year going to have him as well. Yeah, you have Sorare, and I just figured for the stream I can do one on here, one on Predictify, and just kind of talk through the update from today. So Armstrong, Ocampo, and Caicedo are all available, but they're not like match fit. So I think they'll all come off the bench. Questionable at Akugbe. He was in the Canadian call-ups, and then the injury, no good there. So he's questionable, 40%. Bovalina has started at left wing back before. Luis Martinez is gone. Don't have to worry about him. Ahmed's with, all these guys. Ahmed, Kubas, Vite, Gald, and Fafa are all on international duty. So this is a second squad almost. Ufik, concussion sub, but he walked off last match. No mention of him. He's good. He's been training from what it seems. So him over Blackman. Halbuini and Laborda is kind of a toss-up. But, yeah, 90% on Laborda. He's fine. It's just will Ralph Prizo maybe start here? Berhalter should be fine. Again, Armstrong, he's supposed to be not match fit. Enough to start, but we'll see on there. Krylak, it's just because they don't have anyone else really. Yeah, he's dust, and they have a youth guy that has been called up. He was a sub last match, so maybe he's in there. But yeah, yeah, the new collab with server probability is really nice on here for sure. And then Predictify. Oh yeah, fun option next year. Yeah, we get a full year of him. He was good. Yeah, he was good in that deal. All right, let's go to Predictify, and let's go to Maurer. Better keep a clean sheet against this squad. Yeah, right. I mean, I think we're all in Dallas, so let's see. Let's do. Let's look at that crew lineup since they're such big favorites. Shout out to Red or Dead in the comments. Romero has been said that he Nanti came out and said he's a starter. I put 5% push. I just don't like putting 100%. Even what Nanti said he will start, but who knows? I would just 95 is as high as I'll go. Amundsen is suspended, so we're going to see Traburka for sure. That roulette isn't going to be there. Camacho and Zawadzki should slide in. Marrero is on international duty. Left wing back / left mid, whatever you want to call it. Arson usually plays there, with Farsi on international duty as well. On the right side, it opens up him to slide over. Could see Herrera. I think if we see Herrera, it makes sense to have Arson on this side. But I think DeJuan Jones is in line to start. Makes sense. Then we should see the front line of Diego Rossi, and Christian Ramirez and Shambost. We could see Matan 60%. But I do think Derek Jones has done enough in his like limited appearances that he deserves another start. He's been pretty good to play alongside Nagby. So that's about it for them. Again, for them being such a big favorite, I know they do have some holes, but I still like this lineup. I think still at home, Christian Ramirez maybe bangs in a goal. Yeah, well, not, yeah. I mean, Cucho might be the best player in the MLS, and without him, it's crazy. Like, that's not a bad lineup, and they're missing, several key guys. How many we got? Schulte, Hagen's a backup anyway, but 1, 2, 3, 4 starters. And then you have Russell Rowe, though, is called up as well. He's not a starter, but he would have started in this match, in my opinion. So not bad. Evander worth like 300 million. Yeah, easy. They're getting lowballed all the time. Yeah, Ramirez on auction. That was one guy that I was thinking about picking up, but I didn't end up doing it. He has been good. And with Chambos coming over from Saint Etienne, I thought he would kind of pick up that role. And Ramirez has played well enough that Chambos is, the second option at the moment. I think next year that'll switch around. Let's see what contract he's on. What's Ramirez's contract? Yeah, he's a team option. I would think they pick that up for next season. But they do have several different scenarios there that you're probably going to lose Cucho, but will he be a winter leave or will he be a summer leave? I think he's done enough. He looks awesome. He's done enough to warrant a move, and as Bean says, could definitely crack the Prem. We've seen other guys do it, but yeah, not 30 goal contributions whatsoever. Diego Rossi's good. Yeah, that friendly. Yeah, that you went off against Villa. Yeah. Other contract. Yeah. Bunch of 2024s. Yeah, it is kind of shocking he didn't make a move like this summer. I thought there was maybe an option, but hey, maybe he likes winning and maybe do one last run with Columbus. I know no one in the East is going to want to play them. I would love to see, Messi. I don't know, Messi at full strength and see what they do against Columbus. Because honestly, I still like Columbus, although Inter Miami has so many nice pieces outside of Messi too. And it's crazy how well they're playing without him. But scored a hattie on us. Yeah. Yeah, that's rough. Let's see if my players are working now. There we go. And we're loaded up. So another nice thing about this toll server probabilities is my players. I say it all the time. There's so many different tolls here. It's great to be able to see, the projected scores as well as just a view of whatever you want to do. So like if you have all-star, you can just see everybody. Obviously, if I want to neck down to like challenger to be able to build my teams, things like that. You have highlighted players who are in season. So you can really get a good scope on what your gallery looks like before you even look into it. There's several predictors on here, including myself, that puts the percentages in, which is great to be able to look at. So like this game week, I have one goalie, the old Chris Brady or nothing. So that's all I'm working with. But at the end of the day, that's kind of the lineup that, excuse me, I'm prioritizing. Yeah, Ronan. I'm not sure if it didn't really work, he'll definitely let you. He's a great dude. You guys are a great dude. Just you can mention me too. Just say that talked on the stream, and he'll hook you up for sure. And again, I always forget to ask about the pricing. I'm not sure what the pricing is. It's worth every penny, whatever it is. Speaking of pricing, anyone Sorare Data memberships hit the credit card the last couple of weeks? I totally forgot. I'm like, oh, there it is. But that's worth every penny too. I don't know what I would do without Sorare Data. Oh, Pies saved a pen. Let's go. Love it. It's got to be in it to win it. Absolutely. Absolutely. So the classic cards, I'm more on the other side. I don't think they're useless. It's just Essence is kind of like the replacement. And I think if you do well enough in classic and in season, you can have enough Essence to kind of get those cards that you're, supposed to win. I'm a team classic guy as well. What's happened? Gobi Fears Destructor. All right. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for the support. Oh, he also conceded a pen. Ah, man. I love that he's playing for Indonesia. That is amazing. Yeah, how cheap classic are? Yeah, for sure. But people want card rewards. I 100%. But yeah, 20 essence is worth so much more than a tier 5. Absolutely. Yeah. Something Garnacho for an assist to replace a 50 score in Rivals to win by 5. Oh, let's go. Boy, I stink at Rivals. Like, I haven't put, a lot of time and effort. And, like, I'll play, like, a couple matches a week. And, man, I just lose everyone. I am horrendous. Summer Classic just became the move even more. Yeah, if you can grind out the Classic, yeah, it's... I like the Classic. To be honest, like, winning cash is great, but like, I would much rather win cards and have that, like that slow roll, rewards day. Opening cards is so much better than getting cash, even though like the cards are worth less than the cash. It's a sick kind of thing, but that, I don't know. I can't get that. I can't get past that. Like, winning cash is great, but like winning essence and then spinning that tier 5 wheel, like, I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. That is absolutely for sure. I prefer to grind essence instead of getting tier 4s, tier 5s, and all-star. Yeah, no free money in Cap 240. Yeah, Cap 240 was great, but it's just not sustainable. So from a business, I mean, I get it. It sucks that a lot of these cards, that get like 50 aren't really viable, but they're at least collection pieces. Collections, speaking of collections, I use them. Yeah, don't win every week. Worry about my in-season now becoming classic. Gallery become, yeah. It's tough to have that balance, and like whenever the in-season cards first come out, they're more expensive. You have 1,100 cards. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. That's probably tough to build lineups, right? St. Louis Klaus, is he ready? He's very close. Let's pull her out. Him and Alm are very close. Played 25 minutes, so I think we might see him off the bench one more time, then start the following just to be safe. But yeah. Other than Andre Blake, every card reward ends with Basel. Yeah, I mean, I can't even like. I just hold on to rewards. I'm an idiot because obviously the card rewards go down, but I just have a tough time just shipping them off unless I'm absolutely not going to use them. But I'm pretty terrible on that. I have 1,100, but rares, man, you guys are crazy. I start building lineups 30 minutes after the deadline. It's chaos, but I love it through. Yeah, sweet. Absolutely, Muhammad. Yeah. The thrill of trying to get your lineup in is tremendous. Like tonight, I only have one lineup, so nice. Just Heat's a St. Louis fan, so take what he says over what I said. But we said the same thing, so I don't think he starts. Should get good minutes. Yep, I feel the same way. I support the Philadelphia Union. Is my favorite MLS team, and then I have a bunch of like teams that I watch, but not like really an overwhelming like favorite Prem team. I watch Brighton a lot, and I started buying a few Brighton cards, but I'm not going to watch Brighton whenever like Liverpool Man United is playing. I usually just watch the best games. But I don't know. I find myself rooting for my players, and then it just seems like I go in a wormhole, and then I'm like, oh, why am I trying to find a shady stream for, Rapid Vienna? But here we are. I think Rare isn't a bad deal still for in season. Yeah. Won the Willem 2 Keeper as a tier 3 rare. Nice. $7 using a toll. Yeah. That's awesome. That is tremendous. If you guys don't know MLS Server Scout, he does some great stuff. I forget what software he uses, but just like I've seen MLS stuff he does, very, very technologically advanced stuff. So it's different type of scouting. Absolutely. Villa. Yeah, absolutely. Who'd you play as Dallas? So I don't have a huge Dallas. So if Daniel's here, Daniel Brubaker, he's the Dallas, but between the three, if you want a guy to start, Ariola is going to be the guy. He's 90% for me, especially coming off that suspension. He's fresh. He'll start for sure. I think Musa is a little bit ahead of Jesus Ferreira because they're going to treat him like bubble wrap since, he just is always hurt this year. That was one of my more frustrating pickups. But if we take a look at just as of recent, they both played 29 minutes. Musa scored. He went 28, 29. Think we might see a little bit more. There you go. Musa 1, Ariola 1.5, and Jesus 3. Okay. Perfect. There you go. And then Velasquez, I don't think he has remotely the same kind of bubble wrap as well. Will. So him only playing 10 minutes is a great sign to see him back in the field, but he's a little bit away from starting, in my opinion. But Dallas can be tricky. Do you think Philly can sneak? They should. I mean, in theory, yes, they should. With the teams, I mean, I don't mean to, dog on any teams, but if we take a look, I mean, they're just outside Server Scout's Atlanta team. I'm not going to talk anything about them. Toronto has been so hit or miss. They've looked great, and then they've looked terrible. And then there's a little bit of a gap. So, yeah, some of these teams could drop, but I think we're really looking at these two spots. Can Philly make up, if they win their next match, they're above Toronto. DC right there with them. Montreal, I don't know. If there's any team that is a little bit sketchy that could make a run is New England. Their roster's good. They have a lot of good pieces. They have holes as well, but with 2 matches in hand, let's just say, they win one of them, they're sitting at 29 right there with just winning one of 2. If they win both, they're at 32 and they're in the playoffs, which is crazy with them being in dead last for so long. So New England's one I would watch as a possible team that could get in, and Philadelphia would be the other 2. But you never know coming down this stretch. I don't know. If Philadelphia plays their game, and it could be the wild card match, and then you got Inter Miami, but I don't know. I don't see them getting up here. 7 points with, it's doable. It's doable. I'm not going to say but Orlando City should be able to get some points there. Charlotte has a good schedule, and then, the rest of the teams. It's crazy. New York Red Bulls are still 4th with 12 draws, 10 wins, 12 draws, 5 losses. That's kind of crazy. David Ov, what's happening? Yeah, Vancouver is turf. Hopefully Velasquez doesn't play a minute. Yeah, turf is another reason why it's like, I'll play Ariola because he's definitely playing. Who knows what they'll do with the rest. Then while we're here, Western Conference, since we're talking about FC Dallas, with them only being 3 out and Minnesota kind of sputtering, although Minnesota had some good signings in the transfer window, and like Seattle's there, it's hard to see one of the, like, the teams that are in, maybe Minnesota is like the only one, but they did, like I said, they did well in the transfer window. We'll see how that comes together. But out of these teams, it's hard to see any of these teams getting out. Yeah, they need that win for sure. You think Cincy will drop their injuries? Lucho, I don't think they'll drop too far. Columbus has those 2 matches in hand, so they'll drop there. I don't see them outside of third, to be honest. I think Cincy will be in third. Is kind of like the worst case. I just don't see them dropping any further, even though they've had a ton of injuries. Orlando does have a nice schedule. Taco Slayer, Orlando. 4th, here we come. I think that's very, very possible. 5 points clear. Red Bulls haven't been playing well unless Forsberg comes back and goes on a roll. New York City's been up and down at times. Charlotte has that really nice schedule. I've said that, but they haven't taken advantage of it yet. But it'll be interesting. There's a lot of, this 4-5 game would be cool for a playoff series. A little New York on New York action would be fun. 4th to bottom. I wish I could play Otero. Yeah, love to hear that. Wild to think that Charlotte's the team I'm worried about. Yeah, how far we've come, right? Charlotte's a scary team. They are. A lot of these teams are scary. I just think there's a lot of parity. Let's go. Congrats. You love to hear that no sweat over early and often. Congrats. Thanks for coming in, Bean. Hopefully we'll get you in here more often. So without further ado, I'm going to show you what I went with. Yeah, I overpaid just because based on what's available, but in the grand scheme of things, I think it's fine. Could I be wrong? Sure. But I think it does pretty well. I'll show you my options. But yeah, all the bum lineups are set. Let's go. Have a good night. Hey, have a good night, David. Or Daniel. Why is Ramirez expected bench on SD? Hey, let's look at it real quick. So let's go to game week. Let's go to games and go look at that matchup. They might have Russell Rowe in there. I originally had Russell Rowe as the starter, but I did change it. So let's see, that game is here. We might as well just put MLS so we can weed out all that international stuff, right? Let's see. AZ Jackson, 71%. Yeah, he has a chance to play one of these positions, but should be Shambost. Zawadski, obviously. Doesn't matter. Yeah, Russell Rose with Canada. He was a late call-up. Can't remember who dropped out. Adekugbe was one of them, but I think there's one other one. Can't remember who it was. But yeah, he's out. AZ Jackson did start the other time, but I don't know. I would think they like Shambost to start, in one of these positions. Rossi can play either one. He kind of switches a little bit, but one of those, and then Ramirez as the striker. I think that's their best available. Will they go that route? I don't know, but he should start. Some of these percents, can be off a little bit. This one I agree with everything there. You might have some little rotation. I actually don't usually look at these, so it is kind of nice seeing like what is expected to see if there's any like issues that like Reyes being 86%, it might just be people don't know that Noah Eiley is with Sweden's under 21s or under 23s, whatever team that is. Dunkor could start, but Carvalho has been full training. He came off the bench last match, so it's kind of a toss-up for me there. They have him starting 100% here. Harper over there. Gengar is the guy that I have in the starting lineup, just because in this formula, technically, they don't have, he's a central mid, so I don't think he can play right mid, although this is just the projections they take and just throw him on the field based on where they play. And obviously, Spring Hill City, Russell doesn't play up top. You guys know that. Shelton's a right back. They're going to flip-flop there. Tommy at cam. Volder and Rosero. Yeah, that makes pretty much sense. Let's see what New England's like. Lima might be a little bit of a toss-up. Yeah, this is all over the Sands, I don't think he's 100%, like, just, kind of talking about it. Barrera's in line for more minutes. Vrioni's in line, and Langoni all in line for more minutes. So that should mean that they're starting. I think it's a toss-up between Kay and Harks. Eileen Harks. Who don't they have in here? It would be what? I mean, Sands would be there. Kay would be there. Oh, Polster they don't have in here. Polster's going to start. He's right there. So the other center back should be Tim Parker time. Yeah, it is kind of hard to look at these just because they're not like I'm like looking at the positions. I'm like, some of these are not where they actually play. St. Louis left and right back are kind of toss-ups for sure. I think Totland should be back in the lineup after Nowinski started the last, but we'll see on that. Reed makes sense. Yeah, I don't think you feel great about playing those two guys, but yeah. All right, so back to got a little off topic, not a surprise. Back to what I ended up going with. So, yeah, Chris Brady, he's the only keeper I have. I'm not going to buy a new keeper for this one. Although Steve Clark's price, out of any of them, that would probably be the guy that I would be looking at. But yeah, Chris Brady, you just chuck him in and pray that Benteke doesn't have a hat trick. I did pick up a John Tolkien just because I like that matchup a little bit more than Yamar on the road. Tolkien's due for a nice one. So if we look, he's been struggling post-Olympics bad. But before that, he was solid. Like, I know he missed a few. But that was Olympic break. But before that Olympic break, he was in a really nice form. I think it's just only a matter of time where he's going to pick that back up. Forsberg being in the lineup actually helps him, but takes away his upside a little bit. It would be nice. And if we take a look at like the sets, he's the highest AA over the last 15, which makes sense. If we cut it down to 5, though, Ryan Mears, number 1, you love to see that. He's kind of splitting sets with Morgan, Harper, Carmona's getting a little bit. So he doesn't have that, ton of sets, and they haven't been getting a ton of sets, as far as corners in the last 5 games. 12 isn't horrible, not terrible. But you'd like to see a little bit more output from him. So 25.3 the last time. That doesn't scare me off. They're the biggest favorite. Something should give their home against Sporting Kansas City. But that 10-point bonus for a clean sheet, I just don't know if that's going to be in the cards, although they are the most likely team to do it. Midfield, we picked up some heavy hitters. I got my Carlos Hill. I just felt like it made too much sense. My plan is I have Andre Blake in season. I have Kai Wagner in season. So I have that pairing. So in Philly and, solid matchups, which they have several, I can pair Carlos Hill in there in season. And then forward, I got Diego Rossi. Again, made sense this game week and further on. And then I also have Ty Baribo. So I have that option as well whenever they're all in play. And then when all teams are back, Ricky Puig as my, old season card that is kind of a differential play that it's not really a differential play because these are all bits and pieces. But instead of having Cucho, that's kind of, picked up a Mira Limited for my Tolkien. Let's go. Bullet, you got to go. Thank you for stopping in, as always. Good luck to you as well. Hit it big. Yeah, you love to see it. And then Ache, Hector Herrera. I know LAFC, usually not the best, but let's just look at him just because. I'll just get this. Does he not show up because he's in here? All right. I was hoping it would just be an easy one there. All right. Let's just look at him. He has not had the decisives. I wrote him up, but look how good he's been. he's still the same guy. I know he has a player option, and he's talked about possibly going back to Mexico to finish his career. I don't think he's done, but like he's almost a lock for 20 AA, match in, match out, and he hasn't had the decisives that he was getting the previous season. Is that a coincidence, or is that he's just not in the positions to do it? I don't know. I think he's due for some decisives down the stretch here. So I went and pulled the trigger. He's been good. He's been really solid. And he's a guy in this game week that could be really good against LAFC. So Carlos Hill's getting my nod here from the article as well. And that's the team. With playing them in D1, there's going to be other teams that look like this, but as far as like the percents, I'm not very high. I do have a level 20 Chris Brady that might help at the end of the day, but pretty low percents on all these guys, which doesn't feel great. But I don't know. That lineup I feel pretty good about. So I would love 100 from HH, Escobar, and Clark. Yeah, I love Clark too. And Escobar this game week, well, Escobar over Tolkien would have been a nice one, but just like his current price, I don't know. I like Tolkien as a player. I think it was like a buy lower situation on him, where Escobar is kind of like the peak. He's been unbelievable. So that was kind of my thinking behind that. That's all I can do. So if we take a look at, let's see, I don't even think I have. I can't even play fighting. I just want to look at All-Star Rare. Just, is there any chance that there shouldn't be, just because Hadel doesn't start for Austria? Simone on the bench for Albania. That's nice. Where did he get loaned to? I feel like he got loaned to an uncovered team, I believe. Yeah, third league in Germany. So yeah, that's all I can do. But yeah, Guatemala not covered for Hagen and Herrera. That's a bummer for sure. A lot of these guys not covered for like the MLS guys that are on break here. So there's nothing better than just hitting the button as well. So that is nice. And every update's pretty cool. I do like seeing kind of, where can I play these guys type of thing. The last kind of thing, I mean, we're hitting questions as we go as well. So if you have those, I always like looking at the pick scores for under 23 to see how many goalies are even, in play in a possibility, which is always fun to see. So if you have a Trubin, you're in a really good situation, as well as Momarishvili. I don't know this name. Probably should. And then Verbruggen is Netherlands keeper against Bosnia. That's a good one as well. So Chris Brady's there. Fui Diaz. Okay, so there are a few. But as far as under 23, maybe I look at putting in a lineup that doesn't have a keeper and kind of just rolling it with it, hoping that these guys don't do well. But Trubin against Albania, that screams clean sheet. I know it's only 48% compared to some of the other ones, but Verbruggen 62% makes it tough. So international is tough, especially when I have De Kuiper, I have him, I have other pieces. I could play Tolkien. Yeah, as far as midfield, I don't even know if I have any of these midfielders. Scrolling way too far down to want to play them. That's for sure. Yeah. And then forward, I do have Doku. So it's hard not playing those guys. And as much as I would like to take that Brady and play it and play him in under 23, just kind of doesn't make sense to break that up. Unless I would get a Steve Clark. But then again, it doesn't really make sense to buy him whenever I have several keepers in MLS already, and I don't really need any more. I kind of want to branch out into Europe a little bit, play a little in season possibly. But yeah, I know it's a kind of shorter stream, but as far as this game week, there's a lot of straightforward lineups. I'll say that now, but then something will happen. There's a lot of straightforward lineups just because there's only so many options some of these guys have. Like several teams with so many guys missing, they literally have only one guy that can play that position unless they completely scrap it and just go with a different lineup, different formation. So we might be fading some different formation looks, which can throw a wrench into plans. But a lot of these teams are fighting for playoff position, and they're going to play whoever's available. 88-cent Mauer. Yeah, makes sense. I mean, why not? But that would make sense. I'm going to keep Brady in there. I'm just going to stick with Brady. And then whenever he lets up 3 and Mauer gets a clean sheet, I'll just cry myself to sleep. All right. Well, if there's any other questions, just shoot me a DM. I'll do my best. I am working, so I can't, like tomorrow morning, I can't really answer any questions. So if any news comes out, I can't really look either, which is kind of a bummer. Yeah. The only possible 50-50 I see at Houston is Karskia and Kowalczyk. Yeah, I agree with that. Let's just, before I hop off, let's look at that. Just like based on minutes with Karskia being available and fully training all week. Kowalczyk started and then Karskia came off for 20 minutes. That not in training. I don't have the right thing here. He has been training. But I think there's been enough time for him to go 60 and then maybe Kowalczyk goes 30. And Kowalczyk hasn't played a ton either. It was Blessing who was getting that right mid spot. But at the beginning of the year, Kowalczyk was playing pretty much every starting lineup. So I do think that is a close to a 50-50 as you get there. So if you have those players, I lean Karskia, but I wouldn't be shocked, obviously, to see Kowalczyk. And Nelly tore his ACL. You feel bad because he was looking really solid, really dangerous. And for Ibrahim owners, he was close to losing that job for sure. So Ibrahim now has 2 guys who had very good opportunities to be in the starter. It's brutal if you're a Houston fan. Taco Slayer, good luck to you. No Orlando, but whenever Orlando comes back, hopefully they can ride that wave to the end, to the finish line. Yeah, Will, so sad for sure. All right. You know what? Let's wrap it up. Get a good night's sleep. Why not, right? Good luck, everybody, this weekend. Hopefully MLS Challenger goes really well for everybody. Everyone can get a little bit of money back and turn that into a little bit of funds to play with and maybe throw it into Europe. Why not, right? Any questions, hit me up. Again, thank you for the support. Like the video if you haven't already, or if you didn't like it, don't like the video. Yippee-ki-yay, see you later. And everyone else, we'll see you next time. See ya.